Welcome to round 3 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of September 27th. I'm Nicole Eridix, and I'm here with Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
And Terry Morrow.
Hello.
We're moms of teens and young adults, and when it comes to parenting, we've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But we're still waiting for that day when we'll reach the finish line and have no further need to lay down in a dark room with a wet rag over our eyes worrying about something or other. Wednesday is complaint day here on Parenting Roundabout, and today we have a few complaints about accounts, both payable and receivable. So, Terry, I'm going to just hand this over to you because this seemed to be something that was an issue for you originally.
Oh, well, yeah.
for all of us, actually, but
yeah. Well,
you were the one that brought up the topic.
Catherine has a good ticked off at her dentist story. Do you want to lead with that, or should I just say that people who only accept checks for things, either professionally or personally, need to check the calendar and see what century we're in, and possibly, get Zelle, get Venmo, get some way that I can send you this stuff electronically, because I don't do checks anymore. I do not do mailing things to people. It's just such antiquated ways of doing things. I think half the mailboxes in our town are no longer usable, and yet if you put something in there, so what happens to it? I don't know. I think there's one check of mine that is now dead at the bottom of some box, and the other one took about a month and a half to get cashed. I'm done with it. Forget it. Mm-hmm. Paper is yesterday.
Yes.
I'm sorry to any of our listeners who cling to the old ways, but come over to the digital side. It's so nice here. You'll love it. Catherine, tell the nice people what your dentist did.
So,
speaking of money,
we had to switch dentists due to insurance. And, this is not an uncommon situation, right?
Annoying, but not uncommon.
Right. And in fact, and my husband spoke to the people at our former dentist, and, they have a form that you fill out and to get your records sent over to the new person. And it's set, one of the choices, like, why are you doing this? Well, insurance is one of them. So,
yes.
They are experienced in these matters. And everything was going fine. And then this week we get a bill from the dentist, the former dentist, for $8.82. And the itemized statement says that it's for a phone conversation. So we get it. We got it, at the end of September, and the date on the invoice was September 15th. And it was said it was due September 30th. Well, we received it a few days before September 30th. And then right by where the itemization was, it said past due. Please contact us if you have a
for
question.
Goodness sake.
I'm like, first of all, I just got this. It's not past due because it says it's due September 30th. The conversation took place at the end of August. So even if you're counting from 30 days from then, it was just like this whole...
That's bizarre.
Like, come on.
Plus, did you know you were going to owe money for the phone conversation? Did they talk to your teeth? How you doing there, molar? Looking good?
I don't know. And it's just, and again, now I have to write a check for $8.82 and put it in an envelope and mail it to them.
How far are they from where you are? You could go to their office, right?
I could, yes.
Go and get $8 and whatever it is in pennies and just dump it on their desk.
Yes.
Just sort of... I got to think it costs more to process that bill than $8 and change. Is this really necessary for a phone call?
Yeah. I know. And we have been with this practice for a family of 4 for like 17 years.
Yeah. Wow. And it's not like you're going away mad. You're just going away because of insurance.
Right. And, you know how much I've been to the dentist. Like, I've talked about it on this show many times. Like, we have spent plenty of money with them, that they don't need to be billing us $8.
This seems ridiculous.
So
that's just intentionally like annoying, or just gets processed by a computer or something.
Right.
I hate that sort of thing. I've been wondering though, I have a doctor was wanting to find my old blood tests from before I went to the practice I am now. And so I gave them the information about my old doctor, and apparently they called them, and my old doctor's staff was spectacularly unhelpful, which is one of the reasons they're my old doctor's staff. Yeah. But I'm wondering now if I'm going to get a bill for that phone call, now that you're mentioning people billing for phone calls. Because, I mean, it did take up some of their time looking through the records for stuff. But they didn't find anything. Apparently I never had blood drawn for all the years before I went to my new place. But,
suspicious.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm sure somebody feels like, well, this took up X number of minutes of our office staff's time, and we should be reimbursed for that, which theoretically, yes, but in reality, it's bad form, isn't it?
Right.
Do you charge for that? I'll be very interested to see if I get a bill, especially now that you've talked about getting a bill for a phone call. It just seems like the kind of thing people do nowadays.
And I thought it was going to be like, sometimes they charge you like for photocopies if they're going to send your records. I thought it was going to be for that. But no, phone conversation. So do you think we're going to get another bill for like $15.23 for photocopies?
Oh, goodness.
A separate bill. I would love that. another stamp and another envelope and another check.
They're just making you feel better for having left. At least it's not the new dentist. If you switch to a new dentist and then they started this kind of nickel and diming, you'd be like,
right.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
So
what
long.
have we done? But the good news is that in the 2 years since I was in charge of handling the meals for the rehearsals of the drama club production, at that time, 2 years ago, I did this, and I asked for all the kids to contribute like $5 towards sandwiches that we ordered one day. And it was, I got maybe half of the kids that actually did it. So this year, I said, you can give cash to my kid, or you can Venmo me. And sure enough, I've gotten like $175 in Venmo. So
that's nice.
It obviously the parents like this method too.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I would be so happy to see that. Anything
because I don't have cash. I mean, One day my kid asked me for, on the way to school, of course, $6 for his like goggles for science class or something. And I was like, I don't have $6.
Find out if your teacher has a Venmo. I'll send it to him.
Can your teacher please take Venmo? So,
yeah. I really, speaking of like, doctors requiring checks and stuff, I am really a huge fan of this new, the patient portals and stuff where you can pay your bills online. And like even before you go, you can pay your copay before you go so you don't have to hand over your credit card. It's so easy. And every now and then I go on the patient portal to look for something or other, and I see that I owe like $2 for something. Yeah. But I could just put it on my credit card. Fine, here you go. I don't know what this is for. This seems ridiculous to charge me $2, but okay. If it makes you happy, buy a cup of coffee. As long as I don't have to mail your office a check for it.
Yeah.
So, yay for that.
Oh, I know. My brother, he does not carry a wallet. Everything is on his phone, and he pays for everything either through Apple Pay on his phone or through portals, or like, because now I have to say Canada's a little bit more ahead of the times in banking than America. Sorry, America. But you can now pay for your gas at most gas stations through your phone. And there's like, so there's a variety of ways that you can just not have to handle and exchange cash or even a card. And so he lives in the Toronto area, so there's lots of options. But yeah, he just says, like, I just take my phone and my keys. And that's it. I don't take my wallet. Oh, and that's the other thing, too, is that, like, my cousin, she lives in Australia, and the government there, they have this, like, online portal, and you can put, like, all of your government ID, your driver's license, your, health insurance cards, everything is on this portal. And you don't even have to carry your driver's license anymore. It's it's just so easy to have these transactions, right? And it's just, it makes life better, I think.
And at some point, if the government just decides you need to go away, do they just shut down everything about you and you have nothing to prove anything about who you are?
Yeah, but you know what? Like, why would the government care about me? Like, honestly.
I think many, many, many bad things in history have started with, why would the government care about me?
I am like so insignificant compared to most people.
Isn't that like how at least the book of the Handmaid's Tale started, that everything was all on computers and nobody had any money or anything else, and so they were able to just kind of shut women out from doing anything? Am I remembering that correctly? That part stuck in my head.
Right.
I don't know.
Because every time I move something online,
we've been doing Venmo for years. My son started doing it when he was in college, and that was like 6 years ago. And then hardly anybody was doing it. Mm-hmm. Just mostly the university students were doing it to like pay each other back for booze. But so we do now. But I'm surprised, like, a lot of my friends do not use it, which is just really weird to me. But
yeah,
definitely my daughters and that generation, they're using it.
Well,
a lot of my daughter's skating coaches started taking it now, and that's really handy, especially when she goes to like a special event, like it's not one of her regular coaches, and you sign up for a lesson, and then like weeks later you actually have the lesson, so then you have to remember to bring a check, and you have to remember how much you were supposed to pay, and then when they have Venmo, you can just take care of it. So
yeah,
it's handy.
I keep trying to get my daughter interested in that sort of thing, but she is surprisingly old school. She doesn't want to use Apple Pay on her phone. She, when she gets a bill from her, she goes to a foot doctor periodically, and when she gets a bill from them, she just drives over to their office and hands them a check. It's like it's like, oh, you could just call them and give them your debit card number, or isn't there something online? Do they have a portal? Look at all this stuff. She's like, no, I'll just drive over there.
She likes to.
Seems like such a quaint callback to simpler times,
right?
So it's kind of cute. And my son really just doesn't spend money, so, but probably just as well that he doesn't know how to use that. Maybe I won't show him.
You never know.
Then I would have to monitor where the money was going out to.
Right.
But he just uses his debit card for the vending machine, and that's pretty much it.
Well, if anyone wants to Venmo the podcast, we'll let you know.
Right?
We'll take Venmo, we'll take Zelle.
Right, we'll, PayPal, anything.
Apple Pay, you name it.
We'll add something to our website if anybody would actually use it. We got all sorts of ways.
That's right.
GoFundMe.
The ways, but not the will. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be it for today's round 3 of complaining. Tune in tomorrow when we'll obsess about kids' work ethic, and then on Friday to see what we've come up with for our Roundup picks this week. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page or Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout.